How's it going? Dr. J here with another inspiring message of health, and today I'm going to talk about posture and how it relates to your energy. Right now, one of the biggest issues I see on a regular basis in my clinic is people with low energy levels. They're suffering from low energy, fatigue, and exhaustion in a lot of cases. People are overworked, overstressed in more ways than one. And they're not taking adequate amount of time for themselves to, have abundant health. So one of the quickest things that you can do is begin to work on your posture. See, as a chiropractor, one of the key things I notice in people right off the bat is their posture. I'll be standing in a grocery store line and I'll look at somebody on the side of me and I'll see that they're slouched forward. Their shoulders are rounded forward, the head's shifted forward of their shoulders. And one of the ways we can quickly access our energy mechanisms in our body is to improve our posture. So that means shoulders back, ears in a neutral position with the shoulders, shoulders in line with the hips, hips in line with the middle of the knees, and all the way down to the lateral malleoluses of your ankles. So I'm going to give you a quick exercise that you can do to radically improve your posture. Think of it as, if you start doing this exercise on a regular basis, on a day-to-day basis, 5-10 minutes a day, it'll make a significant improvement in your health. But first, let me talk about why we get poor posture and what it does to our body. So, one of the number one ways people develop poor posture is when they stare down at things, particularly your cell phone. How many of you have seen somebody in a chair sitting next to you on a bus, or even riding passenger in your car, or they're in a waiting room? I see this all the time, where they're looking down, just like this, okay? First of all, there's supposed to be a normal curve in your neck. It should be a reversed C curve in your neck, or a backwards C-shaped curve. So from the side, there should be this backwards C-shaped curve that should be about 34 to 45 degrees. So what's happening is, when people are staring down at the phones, or they're staring down at their computers, or they're driving in their car like this, they lose that normal curve in their neck. And the problem is, when you lose that normal curve in your neck, it does a couple of things. One thing it does is it causes you to put mechanical pressure and stress on your lungs. Don't believe me? Do this exercise. Look down and try to take a deep breath in. How does that feel? Not very comfortable. In fact, it feels rather stressful. You can feel the mechanical stress that's on your chest. Forward head posture and a loss of the curve of the neck will decrease your vital lung capacity by about 30%. So that means if you have a decreased vital lung capacity by up to 30%, that means you're receiving 30% less air. That means you're getting 30% less oxygen, which is radically going to affect your energy levels. So that's why your posture is so important. So shoulders need to be back. Like I said, ears in a neutral position with the shoulders. None of this. And if you look at a lot of older people, you see this kind of decrepit posture where they're really shifted and rounded forward like this. Okay? That's just not conducive to your health and well-being. So one of the number one things that you could do to start to improve your posture is pay attention to how you're sitting and how you're standing. Okay? Are you standing in a grocery store line like this? Okay? Or do you have a proud chest? Okay? Call this the Superman posture, where your arms come up on your hips, Superman. Okay? Are you standing with good and confident posture, or are you slouched forward? And when you're in a seated position, you've been working, let's say you're a desk jockey. You work at a desk 8 to 10 hours a day. Or let's say you have a home-based business and you're typing away at the computer, right? Are you in a slouched position? Are you paying attention to your posture? So ergonomically, right, your keyboard needs to be not way out here, but it needs to be in. Your arms should feel nice and relaxed, okay? And this position that you're sitting in should feel nice and relaxed. And I prefer to have my patients sit on something like a half disc, which I'll show you in just a moment. But there's a half disc, we call it a vestibular disc, and they could sit on that, and when they feel their body's getting tired and they begin to slouch, they can wobble on that, because motion creates energy. And a lot of times we get tired when we're sitting in a static position because, you know, we're not doing nothing. So it's kind of like we're not moving, right? So we actually decrease, our energy comes down. That's why people feel a need to stay constantly caffeinated throughout the day. It's at least one of the reasons, right? Because they're sitting for so long, they have to stay caffeinated to have some fake level of energy just to keep going for the rest of their shift. So, you know, I like to have my patients sit on a vestibular disc, and when they get tired, they wobble on that. The other thing that does is it helps you sit with better posture right off the bat, because you're gonna stabilize your core, right? Your core begins to get engaged. The other way to do that is, rather than a half disc, you sit on like a Swiss ball, one of those big balls, right? They even make those in the form of a chair that actually has a backing to it, and it's on rollers, and there's a big ball in the middle that you could sit on. That is a more phenomenal way to sit, because in my opinion, there's no way to stay fit while you sit. We're just not meant to be sitting for 8 to 10 hours a day. However, if that's your job and you're sitting 8 to 10 hours a day, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, then you need to do things to actively engage your core and sit with better posture. The other thing you could do is, if you are sitting for that long, simply getting up and taking a 5-minute break and walking around not only increases your energy, but begins to re-engage your body. So when you sit back down at your desk, you're automatically gonna sit with better posture. So, number one rule of thumb is be more aware of your posture. Too many people are unconscious. They're unconscious. You could see them, they're awake, but it's like the engine's running, but there's nobody behind the wheel. They're not paying attention to the day-to-day, right? The other thing to do is there's an exercise that works really phenomenal for your posture, and that exercise, you're gonna need a resistance band. Okay, so I got these resistance bands. Off of Amazon. I think it cost me less than 20 bucks. Okay, very simple. This one is thicker, so it's gonna have a higher level of resistance. This one is thinner, right? So there's a zillion of these things out there, so you have no problem finding them. The other thing that you can use as well is a resistance band with handles. You just need something that stretches, okay? And so what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your resistance band, you're gonna stretch it out, okay? I like to lock out my elbows, and then I slowly bring the band behind my head, okay? Now, to support the normal curve in the neck, I'm gonna look up at the ceiling, and I'm gonna take deep breaths in through my nose and out through my mouth, okay? So you're gonna do a couple of breaths. You can hold that for as long as you want. I would suggest a minimum of 5 seconds, and try to take 2 to 3 big deep breaths in through the nose and then out through the mouth, okay? So let me show you that again. This time I'll do it with, let's use this lighter band, okay? The closer you come in on the band, the higher level of resistance you're gonna have, no matter what kind of band you have. So I could get a really good stretch with this band, okay? Now when you get really good with this stretch and you've done it on a regular basis, you can come even lower. So I'm stretching through my upper chest muscles, I'm stretching through my biceps. Oftentimes those are, those get really tight, especially for me. I do a lot of curls in the gym, so it's good to stretch through all that. Okay, and then when you're looking up towards the ceiling, you're actually supporting that normal curve in your neck, and you're actually improving your neck posture. So when you do that, right, now as your posture improves, you're going to be able to take bigger and deeper breaths in. You're getting more air into the body, you're getting more oxygen into the body, oxygenating your tissues, and you're gonna have a lot more energy. Now the secret, okay? The secret is there's really no secret. But the secret is you need to do it on a consistent basis. So if there's anything I could press into you about everything I teach, is that the more consistent you are with the exercises, the more consistent you are with eating healthy, the more consistent you are with your exercise regimen, the more consistent you are at drinking good amounts of water on a day-to-day basis, the better off you're gonna be. You can't just do this stretch once in 30 days and expect to have phenomenal results. You gotta go with the P90X principle. See, P90X was this incredible workout that people did, and the secret was that they'd work out 6 days a week for like 90 days straight. I think it was even 7 days a week. I don't know, I've never did it, but over the course of 90 days, working out that consistently on a regular basis, people got phenomenal results. So it's the same thing with this exercise. So let me show you just one more time. I'll use this other resistance band, okay? So check out my arms. Now, when people begin to do this, they start here, which is fine. You're still gonna get somewhat of a stretch back there. But ultimately, the goal is to, lock out the elbows, come behind you, stretching through the chest, looking up towards the ceiling, taking deep breaths in, through the nose, and out through the mouth, okay? And you're gonna wanna do that like 3 to 5 passes. You could do it as much as you want. I suggest doing it twice a day, okay? Once in the morning, okay? And once sometime in the afternoon. And as an added bonus, if you do this before you go to bed, you're actually gonna put your body into a more relaxed state, and it's gonna help you sleep. Any kind of stretching you do at night to unwind the body is really, really good. And as a secret, as a bonus to this video, when it does come to your sleep, if you just got into the regular habit of doing an unwind, like an unwinding of the day through meditation, stretching, drinking good amounts of water, and then not eating. That's very important. So if you got into this unwind routine where, an hour before you go to bed, you're stretching, you're doing some deep breath exercises, you're meditating, reading a good book. It was suggested to me by a friend that I read a fictional book at night. Something that would promote dreaming is really good practice to get into. Because ultimately your body does the majority of its healing when you're in a rest state. So there's no better time than at night for your body to go into a healing phase by getting adequate amounts of good quality sleep. That means you want to cycle through all the phases of sleep, particularly get into phase 3 of sleep, and you want that to be a full 60 to 90 minute cycle where your body's producing mass amounts of HGH, human growth hormone, which is going to help to radically heal your body, okay? And one of the biggest things with sleep is not eating after a certain point. So let's say you go to bed at 9:30, then you would be wise to have your last meal of the day by 6:30, 7 o'clock at the latest. Okay, why? Because hours before you go to bed, right? You don't want your body, you don't want your energy mechanisms in your body to be fully focused on digestion, right? You want all that energy left over for healing and repair, and that's what your body's supposed to do when you sleep. Okay, one more thing, I want to show you the discs that we use in our office that work really phenomenal for our patients. Okay, so this is the disc that we use in our office, and like I said, it's a half disc, and then you can air it up even bigger than it is right now. You could make it more of a ball shape. I particularly like it like this right here because that is an adequate amount of air in there where people can really a good range of motion when they wobble. And it's good enough to engage the core when our patients are in a seated position. We have a lot of patients that take this to their work because they love how it helps to improve their posture and their sitting positions when they're at their desk. Okay, so food for thought on that. You can get these for like 25, 30 bucks off Amazon. Okay, there's a zillion different brands. Most of them are really good, so there's not a particular brand I recommend. Amazon has a lot of them, and you can get different colors too. So anyway, I hope this message found you well. In a world where people lack energy, they're fatigued, they're exhausted out of their minds, you would be wise to really focus on health. Okay, the healthier you are, the more energy you're going to have. And it's not the fake energy that caffeine gives you, it's the actual calm energy that sustains itself throughout the entire day. That's the kind of energy you want, right? That's the kind of energy you want. You want to go home to your kids and be the best parent that you can be. You want to have that calm energy. They ask you to do something, you don't want to say like, I'm too tired to do it, right? So in order to be the best parent that you can be, the best producer that you can be, and what I mean by that is, look, if you're engaged in some sort of a hustle, you're an entrepreneur, yeah, energy leads to creativity, right? So in order for your brain to work better, you gotta have energy left over to be creative, right? So you don't want that fake erratic energy that caffeine gives you. You want to have good sustained energy throughout the day. So make sure your diet is good, eating healthy, right? I believe in a well-balanced diet where you're getting a lot of nutrients from your foods. I believe in supplementation because I don't believe we can get all the nutrients we need from food. We'd have to eat like 10 apples a day to get the nutrients that, were in the apple like 50 years ago. And that's all because of modern industrialization of food processing. We're just not getting the nutrients in our foods anymore. So I believe there is such a need to supplement. If you guys are interested in finding out more about supplements, I would love to do another video just on the supplements I take and why I take them. One of the key supplements that I started taking not too long ago was a Peak Performance supplement, which is made by a phenomenal company, and this has 10 vitamins and minerals that are key and geared towards bettering your immune system function, okay? And what I mean by that is getting your body back to a homeostatic state. Homeostatic balance is extremely important. It's not like you have to enhance your immune system, you just need to get it to function at 100% of its full potential. I hate that term, boost your immune system, because look, your immune system doesn't need to be boosted if it's functioning within 100% of its full potential. The problem is most people's immune systems are way down here, and that's why we get sick, right? So I believe in supplementation. Like I said, I started taking Peak Performance supplement made by a phenomenal company. If you're interested in that, hit me up. Phenomenal supplement. Drink copious amounts of highly filtered water. Make sure you're meditating and breathing. I believe in prayer and affirmations throughout the day. Shut the TV off, shut the news off, shut the things off that scare you and put you into that weakened state. Stop focusing on the things that stress you out. Hugely important. Make sure you're getting adequate amounts of sleep. Darken up your room. Reduce your exposure to EMF. Okay, I'll do another video on that, and I've already done a few videos on that, but I think that's extremely important, especially now we're getting bombarded by all kinds of high frequency radio waves on literally a constant basis. So we need to do things to mitigate the negative effects of that, okay? So look, those are some phenomenal ways to increase your energy, but right away, start working on your posture, pay attention to how you sit, how you stand, how you're sitting at work, things like that. Start paying attention, start doing that very simple exercise I showed you, start doing it on a regular basis. You'll notice a phenomenal difference in your health, okay? God bless you, and until we meet again. Look, if you guys like what you heard, please go to my YouTube channel, like and subscribe. It's Dr. So dr.align to thrive. And if you guys have any questions for me, feel free to comment below or feel free to personal message me anytime. I love to answer questions and I always get back to people as soon as I possibly can.